Mr. 66. What's good, fam? Once again, I want to big you up. I'm going to give you a lot of props because of the polite tone of your video. Got to tell you, it is refreshing. Refreshing. So, I already said that in the comments anyway, so I got to go quick because I got like 5 minutes. Alright, so I got some notes here and some of the things you said. First of all, I do want to say you make some really good points, some interesting points. About the fact that the universe can't move and those things. That's pretty good stuff. The universe can't spin or you can't move it. I actually think that's sound logic. I don't have any gripes with those. There's a couple things you said though that I want to address. And that you said that the gentleman's video that you originally responded to, and I got my computer here. Hang on. It's God Lowdown. Sorry. So God Lowdown was saying that the universe or the cause of the universe must be supernatural. You took issue with that. And some of the points you made was that time is a part of the universe. You also said it is impossible for the universe not to exist, which is one of the main things I'm going to take issue with. You said time is not a fixed constant, which I'll grant you there. I think that's actually an interesting observation, which I'll kind of tie into my response. And you also said the universe is all that exists, which is another thing that I'll take issue with. So this is just simple logic. You probably heard this before, all right? But I just want to reiterate it. I'm not stating it to create some type of mantra here. I just want to put it out there. Okay. As a logical point, everything that begins to exist has a cause. Okay? So that's my first premise. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. Right? 2, the universe began to exist, which you have acknowledged in your video because you're acknowledging time. If the universe did not begin to exist, there would be no time. I'll unfold that later. So everything that begins to exist has a cause. 2, the universe began to exist. So if the first 2 premises are true, then the third premise must be true, which is the universe has a cause. Okay? So everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. You might have heard this argued by people like William Lane Craig. He's very one of the main arguments he uses. I think it's sound logic. I think if you don't accept, if you say that this logical sequence isn't true, then you got some trouble. And one of the things that you say is that the universe is all that exists. That can't be true if we are truly living in time. Now you said, one of the things that you said is that time, you essentially said, I'm not quoting you here, but you essentially said that time is not a constant. Depending on how your position in the universe, time is different. I can grant that. I can grant that. But the fact that time is not a constant doesn't mean that time is not a thing that that obviously can be measured, or that means that the universe is eternal, which is another thing that you said. I think that that's flawed logic. If the universe began, let's just think about this here. If the universe is eternal, right, then there is no beginning. There is no beginning, and if there is no beginning, you say that you're essentially saying that the universe is both in time or both has time within it, or it has an element of time, and it is eternal, and it can't be both. It's either one or the other. You cannot deduce one less than eternity. You can't. There's no such number. Eternity minus 1. There's no such number. Eternity plus 1. There's no such number. So as we move incrementally in time, we must trace the increments back to a point of origin. Think about time as a fixed point on the ground. Maybe we don't experience the ground all the same, but it is the ground. Okay. If we're walking, we take a step. Every step we take, we move forward. Well, if the universe is eternal, then time is like a treadmill, where we're walking on it, but we're never moving forward in time, which would make it impossible for us to come to this moment. If there was no beginning, you cannot have infinite sequences, right, moving you forward. Therefore, time of necessity has a beginning, and if it has a beginning, it cannot be eternal. I don't know if that was just a bad choice of words on your point, but I just wanted to point that out. It cannot be eternal. Maybe semantics here, but whatever. So I want to make a point here that if the universe is subject to time, because time, space, and matter had to come into existence all at the same time, all right? Which is actually how the Bible describes the world coming into existence. In the beginning, time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. Now, obviously, the earth is not all the matter there is, but it's describing the creation of the earth and the heavens in general. So, the Bible describes actually perfectly the issue that I've just raised here. Time, space, and matter have to come into existence all at the same time. So, if you just take the next logical step, you said that there is no before the Big Bang. I take issue with that. I understand what you're saying from a semantics point of view, or from a, if there's no time before the Big Bang, then what is before the Big Bang? I understand what you're saying there. But that just means that of necessity, there must be a being or something that exists outside of time. That means they are eternal. They're not subject to time. They do not have a beginning. And that's exactly how the Bible describes God. The Bible says that he's from everlasting to everlasting. That means he's eternal. Many other places in the Bible describe God as eternal, having no beginning. This is of necessity a condition that must have been in place in order for us to be in existence, or for a finite thing like the universe to have come into existence. If the universe didn't create itself, or didn't bring itself into existence, which there's nobody who has any scientific evidence that is possible. There's nobody who has any philosophical explanations of how that is even possible, how we get something out of nothing. Then you have to accept as a plausible explanation that something caused the universe. If you don't believe that's the God of the Bible, that's a whole nother question. But something that is eternal started the universe. It existed outside of time. It exists outside of space. Why? Because time, space, and matter are all in the universe. So whatever this thing is, it is timeless and it is spaceless. It cannot be contained in space. And it is not material. It is not matter. This is exactly how the Bible describes God. He is an immaterial being. He's a spirit. He doesn't exist in the time, space, matter, spatial continuum, if that's even a term. Okay, so I don't know. We could go on and on about this, but that's just my take on it. So in review here, you said that the universe is all that exists. I reject that. And you said it's impossible for the universe not to exist. I also reject that. And if you know some of the arguments that have been presented on that, you say the universe is all that exists and it is impossible for the universe not to exist, particularly on that last point. If there's there are many arguments that are sound logical, I believe, that suggest that a personal agent, someone who has a person has will or has a will must have brought the universe into existence, because if there was ever the necessary conditions for the universe to exist, but it didn't, then there must have been something that was volitional that chose to bring that about. I don't have time to unpack that. If you would like, I will do that in another video, but hope I've confused you thoroughly, and look forward to your response. Thanks.